Good morning, Rabbi Sai. We're going to start off with an unbelievable thing. A big tzaddik is donating $1,000 a week for anybody that does Chazara. So you go in here, if you do every Chazara you do, you get an entry. Hope that in the first few weeks there'll be very, very few people, and you could have a great chance to win $1,000. $1,000 a week. You hear that? Anybody gonna do Chazara because of that? I'm gonna start doing Chazara, Givaldik. Listen to this. So we don't. The shir is on a lot of different platforms, and I knew that it was on this platform, but Ad Kidei Kach, Baruch Hashem, with great joy, we're excited to share that the new battorah.com app is now live, and it was built with special dedication to enhance the experience of Eli Stefansky's Daf Yomi shiurim. It's in Spanish, from our very choshev Satmar Chosed from Kiryas Yoel. He has his whole life he dedicated to this, to put it in. But check this out. Our shir on his site has 1,100 videos and almost 250,000 views. 234,000 views in like 9 months. That's crazy. So the true labor of love, months of work behind the scenes, because Rebelli Shurim truly deserve the best. May this be another step in helping thousands connect to the Daf, to Torah, and to Hashem. Unbelievable. If you look closely, it's hard to see a little bit, but if you look closely, you'll see it. Dov Feigenbaum, good morning. Today you said that the Gemara on Lamed Hey Amud Beis that the camel's milk cannot become cheese. I watched this here in the morning. Fast forward to late afternoon, I open up a bottle of Snapple, look at the cap to see the fact. And I see real fact number 14. Camel's milk does not curdle. It's in there. It really says that. Hashgacha Pratis. Let's see if I could zoom in a little bit. Here we go. This is not made up.
Unless it's in Poland.
Kiss from Hashem. This is what we call a kiss from Hashem. Hashgacha Pratis. He has the wording wrong, but it's good. I started learning the Daf 5 weeks ago. Is it still new? I'm taking this as a message from Hashem to keep it up, Dovi. Shalom Aleichem. Every time you show a new satellite share, I get jealous that there's nothing going on in America. Last night I was on a Zoom call till a little bit after 12 a.m. The guys are mamish rocking. Each guy that's head of these things, we had like 14 people on Zoom, and they come up with great ideas and different things, sharing back and forth what they can do, what works, what doesn't work. I'm trying to take initiative and host a share at my house. This was a Shabbos, 10:15 p.m. Here's the address in Flushing. Kitzer, put it out there. Whatever. There was a great Givaldik share in Bar Park. 13 people. Singing in the beginning will be on 1 speed. Emails and guests. P.S. Singing in the beginning will be on 1 speed. Emails and guests on 1.75 or 2 speed. Share on 1 or 1.25 speed. 1.25 is very good. From your Talmud since Yivamas Daf Beis, Isaac held. Listen to this. Limud Daf Yomi in Rafiach. The learning in Rafiach. We have our own little thing with Chayalim. Last night, take a look. On the left bottom corner, 2 Chayalim. And in the same picture, you can see Yerushalmi with his zebra thing, the white yarmulke, Hasidim. There's another guy. This is Eliyahu Shalom's son. Take a look at this. He has nose earrings, the whole thing, everything going on here. We have a whole shir, huh? That's Yonatan, the famous Yonatan. I think he had that since he was 10. He was like that. This I think I showed. Yal Shalom is huge in this year. Following up on my previous email about Siyam and Makis in the office, listen to this. I wanted to share exciting, unexpected update. To bring more co-workers from all backgrounds in Daf Yomi, I launched an initiative. 1,000 shekels for anyone in the convergence office who completes Masechet Avodah Zarah with MDY. To encourage immediate participation, I also offered 500 shekels for finishing Shavuos from the point we began midway through the Masechta. I expected a handful of participants. He's mamish begging Hashem that nobody should join. Instead, 32 people joined. Most during Shavuos, the rest of the start of Avodah Zarah, 20 of them haven't missed a single day since the middle of Shavuos. So this is going to cost them 21,000 shekel plus. As the initiative, and its cost grew. I shared the story with my uncle. He's not going to be happy about this, but too bad. He didn't tell me not to say his name. While in England for a family wedding, and he was so inspired that he immediately offered the sponsor a large portion. I'm covering the rest, knowing the schus is beyond value. Thank you for everything you do to make Torah so alive and accessible. Warm Gav Hul. Here's the picture of the 7 p.m. office viewing. The rest do it in their own time. You hear what's going on here? He got 21 people to join the daf. Hopefully.
Tell them where you first met him.
Where did I first meet him?
Gav Hul was the star of the movie you were in.
Oh, really? That's where I first met him. What's the name over there? What's the name of the movie again?
The Edge.
The Edge. Yeah. People come over to me out there and say, "Were you in that movie?" I said, "No. What do you think? I wouldn't wear a yarmulke." Back over here. Aaron Heinman, hi. My bar mitzvah was this past Shabbos, and I mentioned you at my drasha. Thanks so much. Thank you, Aaron. I mamish appreciate it. It's geschmack. I get mentioned in speeches now. Masechta sponsor David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Avi Meir Reb Shmuel Baruch Bereb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. Masechta sponsors Anonymous Hatzlach Baruch Nisu Begashim Zichus Achenuk Bnei Yisrael. Anonymous, may our learning be a shield of protection, a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius, Lili Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius. Koil sponsors. Monthly, Masha'ar Miriam Landy, thank Hashem for all the brach and simcha. Monthly Bas sponsors, TCS Israel Power by Talk and Save Anonymous. For Shlema Chulda Leah Bas Bracha. Weekly sponsors Anonymous, Lezech Nishmas, Ori Ben Elchanan, Hashem Yinkim Damai, Ori Danino, who brought light in the darkest place. Brian's friends, Lili Nishmas, Rivka Bas Yisrael Eliezer, Ari Farkas. That my father, Dov Farkas, should stay strong in his Daf Yomi commitment and connection to Yiddishkeit. Amen. Yomen Zicherman, for Shlema Avram Ben Elisheva Pnina. Dov, if you want us to change the lashon over here, no problem. We could help you out over here. Aaron Winkler, Baruch Yukusil Ben Yosef Yitzchok on his yard side. May he be a Melis Yosher for everyone. Josh Salomon, Lilin Nishmat, my grandfather Shalom Ben Chaim Olav Shalom. Anonymous, Lurfos Ephraim Ben Frumt Odia, Miriam Bas Bluma Shasha, Lasach Batoy Rishamayim Menachem Mendel Ben Frumt Odia. I'm just thinking now that when Lazi and Aaron both. It's a certain hana, it's a tremendous amount of nachas. Your son's thinking about you and he wants your best and he's willing to put money out there, not some give you a bracha. So, Dov Farkas should have a lot of nachas from Ari. MDY Art, monthly, you also should have a lot of nachas from your Ari. Yonatan Eitam B'Sheva Bracha, Refuah Shleima, Refuah Shleima Mordechai ben Esther, Refuah Hayel Daniel Zev ben Hayel Esther. Shalom, what's your name? You know what? Berman, I know you. You know Chicago, nothing? Where are you from?
Lakewood.
Lakewood. I was born there, you know, so we're shtickle related. Wow. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? I know you.
Yeah, Philip from Elazar. One of the snowmen.
That's right. Where's that guy? Why? Because you brought him?
Yeah.
Wow. Snow has Zainikos anyway, but Givaldik. And that guy is, he's a new guy. Shalom, what's your name?
I'm Moshe Eliyahu.
Moshe Eliyahu, from where?
Shalavim.
Shalavim. How'd you get here?
Bus.
No way. I got it. Wow. Very nice. How long did it take you to get here? How long?
30 minutes.
That's it. That's it. How old are you? 12. You allowed to go on a bus so early in the morning by yourself? Geschmack. Sarah Yisrael. What age? Tell us the truth. What age could you take these kind of trips? 3, 4, 10? I was looking for the video. Who took a video of me? There's a Belzer Bacher that comes from Belz Haifa. Comes once a week.
Benny took it.
Benny, you did? We got to show it. He comes here. I'll just say it. Takes him 9 hours, but he comes once a week. 9 hours. So I said, how many times did you come? 10. This is my 10th. He's counting. Like he knows exactly. 10.
9 hours.
9 hours. Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Menton.
Yes.
From?
Usually from the Netherlands, but I live in Tel Aviv.
Come on, just say Netherlands. We need a guy in the Netherlands. Netherlands.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv. There's a little bit of a chabura going on there. It's forming. So
the night, it's coming.
It's going to happen. All right, Givaldik. Beautiful. Everybody say, here we go. We're holding Vahapas. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 lines from the bottom. So one of the things that Chacham said we can't eat is bread. Can't eat from the guy's bread, pas palter. Pasakum. Omer Rav Kahana, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Pas lo yihudru bebezdin. The Mishnah tells us that there was a gzeira on their oil, but they said the oil is not a problem. They got rid of the oil gzeira, but when it comes to bread, they didn't get rid of the gzeira. So a beautiful shaila, Rabbi Yitzchak Zilberstein brings, he says, my uncle, him, say that. So he says like this. It says, how come we can't marry in Ta'amun or Moav? Because they didn't give us bread. So it's mashma you're allowed to eat their bread. We have a taina then, why don't you give us bread? Huh? What do you do such a kasha? No. So you know what he says? He says what? No. Anyway, the bottom line is, he says that if they would have given, he claims that if they would have given us bread, we wouldn't have taken it. It's awesome. But why did they offer? He says. But anyway, it's a good question. The question is a good one. Says the Gemara, if Rabbi Yochanan is saying that, by the way, they never absolved this gzeira is still there, meaning somebody wanted to get rid of it at one point. Somebody was trying to mess with this gzeira. Who wanted to do that? In fact, somebody was trying to get rid of it. The Chiyasar of Dimi, Omar, Pamachas Yotzer Rebbe Lasada, Rebbe went out to the field, Behavi Ovid Kechavim Lefan of Paspurni Mafasa. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the Purni, in the other shear, he has a, I don't know if you're able to get it, but there's a certain oven. You'll see in the shear before in Daf Lamed Hey, because I forgot to put it in. But that's a Purni oven means it's an oven that the opening's on the side, not from the top. And he brought this ginormous bread of a saw. A saw is like, it's like 13, 14 pound challah. Here we go. Yeah, it was like oh my Rebbe, and Rebbe saw this bread. Kamana pazu. Wow, this is a beautiful bread. And then he sticks in Maro Chacham Lasra. I wonder why Chacham said you can't have a bread like this. Says the Gemara, what do you mean Maro Chachamim? Mishum Chasnos. The problem is they might marry their daughters. What do you mean, why? So take a look at this. There's a lot of chacham goes into this stuff, a lot of discussions, but I thought it came out great. How do you do chasnos? If you had to do chasnos, think about it just for 10 seconds. You're an artist. You want to draw the isser to get married to a goya. If you come to eat bread with the goy, you might marry his daughter. How do you do it in a nice batamta way without, here, it goes like this, it's gewaldic. That's it. Neichaps that he married by mistake. Look at him, he's a shtickle b'tzar, but that's what happens. All right, that's chasnos. You got it? Good? Says the Gemara. Hello, Maro Chacham. So what was Rebbe complaining about? Maro Chacham Lasr Basada. Okay, I get it. There's chasnos in a city where the guy's daughter is there, but in the middle of the field, the middle of nowhere. Okay, Kisfur Moham hit the Rebbe pass. So people that heard his saying, they thought, oh, Rebbe said it's mutter. V'lohi, Rebbe lo hit there's a pass because of leiplog. He didn't. He's just saying, like, I wonder why. Rav Yosef Yitayim Rav Shmuel, and we're going to see in a second why. What's the problem? Rav Yosef Yitayim Rav Shmuel Bar Yudah Amar Lo Yikach Hoya Ma'is. I'll tell you what the story was. It was different. Elo Amru Pam Achas Holach Rebbe L'Mokem Echad. He went to a certain place. V'ro Pas Dochak Talmidim. This is a common theme throughout history that the yeshiva guys don't have enough food. It was very hard for them. They didn't have what to eat. There's a Bavusta story. I looked it up. I saw that it's also in Oitzah Chachma. There was the Yeshiva Moshe Schneider. They struggled in London with feeding the boys. And one of the Bacher, Moshe, he took upon himself to get the bread for the boys. He would go to the bakery and he would It was a busha, a big busha to go there, knock on the door every day, convince him, huh?
On the bus.
You gotta go in public, schlep the bread on his shoulder, the whole thing. And the kids are going through Bizyonis, and the Rashiva gave him a bracha, him and another guy. Two Moishes. Says, you were concerned about the Ruchnias, you should be a big gadol. You that you're so concerned about the bread of the boys, should be a big gvir. So the gvir happened to be Moshe Reichman, and the other one is Moshe Sternbach. So say the Maisa.
Schneider was Menachem Schloss's grandfather.
Schneider was Menachem Schloss's grandfather.
Yes.
Was the Vecker.
Oh, the Vecker. Omar Rebbe. So he sees that there's no bread. Omar Rebbe ain't kam palter. What? There's no baker. Because the Olam thought that he means what's the name of that loaf of bread in America? Wonder bread. Where's the Wonder bread? It's not wonder. It's not okay. If you ever had it, Hashem Yerachim. V'lo Omar. It's like shmak Israeli bread. You have to cut with the knife. It's Wonder bread. Six things. Like it's it just disappears. It's fake. So they thought he's talking about the Goyish bread. He was referring to where's the Jewish baker. Even if you say that the story happened, that you're saying where's the Goyish bread, it's only in a situation where there's no kosher bread, Jewish bread. There's no heter to eat the non-Jewish bread when there's Jewish bread. Another thing, you can't, even if there's no Jewish bread, it's only if you're in a place like a field, albir loy, but in a city never. Mishum chasnos. The problem is you might come to marry his daughter. Says the Gemara's story. I have a menakis. I was biting into vachal pas and he ate this pas palter abei mitzarei on the border. Don't talk to this guy. Put him like in chayrim. He's eating pas palter, the bread of an Armenian. Can't talk to him.
Don't say anything in his name, he says. Don't say over anything in his name.
It's another pshat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the means don't schmooze.
I'll tell you, Gav Shmua B'Shmoy.
Okay. This is what's the gear say? Gimel.
Don't quote it.
No. He brings over the Bach. No. Your pshat is based on a different gear. So like the shto minei. Don't take from him. Bahadei means with him. Anyway, Ba'ashem and Shalem. Let's talk about the oil. So there was a gzera not to use their oil at all, and then they abolished the gzera. Ba'ashem and Shalem. Shemen. So we have a machlokes. Where did it come from? Rav Omar Daniel got Zarah Olav. This is an older gzeira from the time of Daniel. As Chazara, if you guys did the $1,000 Chazara initiative, $1,000 a week, it's a lot of money. Because I don't think there's going to be more than 100 people. How many people are going to do a Chazara and go in there? I don't know. Let's do it again. I'll show, because maybe people skip the email. Let's do Chazara on the Chazara. Here. QR code, get in here every single week, $1,000. I don't know how many weeks, but it's. Can we say?
Wow.
Osher Anshel ben Moshe David. He's a gishmaki guy. He's a big part of this year. But anyways, if you did Chazar and Avodah Zarah, what was the big? One of the big things about Daniel? Why was he so zoicha? Does anybody remember here in this Masechta? Because he davened 3 times a day. Never missed davening. Shmuel Omar, so we have a machlokes here, Rav and Shmuel. Rav says this is from Daniel's time. Shmuel says, the problem is that the tumah from, you have a vessel, you put oil into the vessel, and the tumah from the vessel is going to seep into the oil from there's something going to seep out of the kli, whatever that is, some tumah, and it's going to go into the food. And what's going to happen to the food then? It's going to become tameh. The oil will become tameh. So we have a problem of oil becoming tameh. It's a kiss from Hashem, because I mentioned yesterday, Ari Cohen, I didn't say him by his name, but he's Rabbi Didi Kramer's brother-in-law. Comes to the Shir a lot in the Hebrew. He lives here in Bet Shemesh, I think. Pretty sure, yeah. and his father, the Intech Sherim. So he's so I said yesterday that they said once about the oil. He so happens to be today, mamish today, in China, in one of these mega factories. He says it's larger than Bethshemesh. It's massive. He said like this. He's never found a single problem ever in olive oil factories because it's a different process and they make a lot of money. They don't try to bring other stuff. But in China, they'll try to make oil out of a car. Whatever you give them, they make oil out of it. So there's always non-kosher products there. He's found many issues with it. That's why you need a good hechsher on canola oil, cottonseed oil, all these other oils. He's there now. So he's saying, so that's the problem. I gotta show you, I said this yesterday, but I want to show you the lashon. It's so powerful, it's unbelievable. See if I could zoom in on it. This is the Rambam. Shemen shel goyim mutter, umisha oisroi. If you go like the original thing in the Mishnah, you want to be machmer. Harizo oimed bechet gadol. It's a big chet to try to be machmer. What the Mishnah says is mutter. You're trying to show that you're greater than the bezdin that was mater.
This is olive oil?
This is all oils. The shemen of a guy. The Mishnah says, and it says one of the things is shemen. Initially, the shemen was aser. Then the bezdin came and said it's mutter. Now we're trying to see when was it aser? Who made it aser? We have Rav who says that it's Daniel, and then bezdin said it's mutter. And Shmuel says, no, it's a gzeira of Chacham later on because of Tumah. But the Gemara says, we're still on line 1. I don't understand something. What's the big deal? So there's a little Tumah in the oil. So somebody will eat Tameh, big deal. Does everybody, how many people are so concerned about eating only Torah food that we have to say that this food is completely awesome forever? There's a few tzaddikim that the chaver or whatever it is, he's makbid always to eat bitahara. Okay, so for that you're going to make a big deal. Ella, different shot, same idea. Ella's li fasan shel kelim asurim u'sartan. We have a kli that has an isser in the kli, not a tumah in the kli, a isser. And whatever that isser is, nevela, yainesach, I don't know what. Oh, here, he put it in here. Tanur purni. This is a side, a very large oven. The other ovens you put it from the top. Oh, there's a purni from the side. Okay. So it says Gemara. So we're concerned about the blias from the kli, from the walls of the kli, going into the food and making it also. Amalei Shmuel Rav. So Shmuel says to Rav, let me prove to you that I'm right, you're wrong. I say that it's the blias from the walls of the kli that go into the food. And he said, Dorash Rabbi Simloi ben Tzivim. Rabbi Simloi said it in Tzivim. Now, just remember this name because in a minute we're going to talk about Rabbi Simloi who came from a place called Ludoi. This is the person that we need to remember the name. Dorash Rabbi Simloi ben Tzivim. Shemen, Rabbi Yehuda, Bezdinoi, Nimnu, Olav Itiruhu. Rabbi Yehuda said, and his Bezdin said that it's a mutter. So just pause it for a second. Who's Rabbi Yehuda? So in the Mishnah it says, Yehuda Nasi. But the Rishonim say, mistake. We gotta take that out. Because of course, who has the biggest yichus that we know of, and at least I'm aware of? Ben Achar, Ben Hillel, all the way to the top arrow is Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi's grandchild is Rabbi Yehuda Nisia. So Rashi says we can't be talking about, if you follow the sugi, you can't be talking about Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Rebbe. It can't be him. It has to be his grandchild. It's his grandchild who abolished this halacha. So now, how could it be? So he holds Kosovar Noisen Tam Livgam Mutter. Very, very simple, geschmack. This is an older thing. This is old technology, but it was great back then. Let's say a guy takes a donkey, shechs the donkey, kills the donkey, and cooks him up in a pot. What happens? So here, a bunch of the donkey goes into the walls of the pot, and then if it's less than 24 hours, that would be called, you take the donkey out.
It's like a tari.
Put a shech the cow, put him in there. Now the blias from the wall go into the cow. That's called noisin tam l'shvach. Why? Because it's less than 24 hours. But if it's more than 24 hours, then it's called noisin tam l'vgam. It gives it a bad flavor. Tam l'vgam just means a bad flavor. Look, you can see the donkey turns greenish. It's disgusting. So now you shecht some goat, and you put this green donkey into it, so it itself becomes so. So the question is, nois tam of gam mutter aser. If you have really bad tasting treif in the walls, is a mutter aser. Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, Rebbe's grandson, says it's bad stuff. It's bad, so it's mutter. It doesn't do anything. It's really it doesn't help the food. It ruins the food. Oh. That we're going to see is not such a problem, because if you argue on a previous generation, that's okay. But if you try to get rid of a gzeira, that's not okay. How do you get rid of a gzeira?
As in bigger bezdin.
Yeah, you have to be gadol b'chacham u'minyan. In other words, you have to be a bigger Talmud Chacham and have more people than him. But to argue in halacha, you argue in a fact. I hold noisin tam l'gam Aser, comes Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya and says, I hold mutter. And Memela, this kind of problem of oil absorbing from the walls of the kli, Isser is not a problem according to me, and I hold it's mutter. Okay, we'll say over the Maisa. There's a guy who put up a sign. It says on the sign, I could heal anything. If I'm successful, you pay me $50. If I'm not successful, I'll pay you $100. There's a way to get clients. So a guy wanted to make $100. So he comes in there, he says, listen, I have a problem. I lost my taste buds. This is not a problem. He opens up the cabinet, he pulls out a special thing. He puts 3 drops. The guy starts screaming, it's gasoline, it's gasoline. He says, oh, you could taste, gewaldig. Give me $50. So the guy was, he's very upset. He lost his $50. He comes back the next day. He says, listen, doc, I lost my memory. I don't know what to do. He says, okay, sit down. No problem. I have a special thing. He goes to the thing, pulls out the same exact bottle, 3 drops. The guy starts screaming, that's the same exact thing as yesterday. Oh, you remember? $50. $50. He says, this time I'm going to get him. No matter what, I'm going to play the game. So he sits down, and this is just because noisin tam l'vgam. There's all gasoline.
There you go.
He sits down and he gives him another. He says, what's the problem? He says, the problem is I can't see anymore. Blind. It's blind, yeah. He chaps already what he's going to do. He goes to say, he says, I can heal you. He goes to the cabinet, takes the same exact bottle. The guy's quiet. He pretends he can't see. He's not going to say, oh, it's the same bottle. He puts 3 drops on. He says, no. You remember? He says, no, I don't remember anything. He says,
can you see?
Oh, can you see? You're right. We're holding it. Can you see? Can you see? No, I can't see a thing. Garnished. Garnished. Okay, so I owe you $100. Okay, great. So he gives him $100. The guy screams, that's not 100, you liar. You gave me 50. Shal Yisrael. Nois tam l'vgam. As if you never heard it before.
Never heard it.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah. Nois tam l'vgam mutter. Eli doch the armers Daniel goes all So says Shmuel, I understand something. Everything is great if it goes according to me. I say the problem is that there's a little isser in the pot. But according to you, the armers Daniel goes all this is an old gzeira from the Daniel's days. Think about it. Daniel goes up also Rabbi Yehuda and Hanasi umevatale. How could somebody from a later generation get rid of a gzeira that Daniel made? But now we learned in the Mishnah, "Ein bezin yochel levatel divri bezin chaveiro yel ken gadol imenu b'chacham u'b'minyan." You have to be greater than that bezin, and certainly Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya is not greater than Daniel. So how could he get rid of the minog? Omerlei. So Rav says Simloi. Remember, I told you to remember the name. Rabbi Simloi. Luda commerce. Well, he's from Lud. Shani Ludoi the Mizalzalu. You should know that these Ludoim, these people from Lud, they don't care about Chacham, and that's why I wanted to get rid of the Gzeira. That's why I got rid of it. But no, people, normal Rabbanim are not going to get rid of the Gzeira. Just as a story, just to remind the Olam, because if you do Chazara, in Lud, where he was from, there used to be cannibals there. And Rish Lakish he sold himself to the cannibals, the whole story, and then they wanted to eat him. They wanted to make a geshmaka dinner. So they said, okay, get over here, and they all sat around, and they said, but we'll give you the last wish. What do you want? So some explain the reason why they did it is because if you're calm when they kill you, then it tastes better. You want the geschmack of steak, the steak should be tastier, so they say whatever you want. So he says, I want to hit each person. He had a sack, I want to hit each person on the head with the sack 1.5 times, whatever that means. And it looked like a flimsy sack, but really he put like lead in there. And he said, okay, and he gave each guy 1.5 zetzes over the head, and he killed them and he walked away. And that's Lud. Lud the Mizalzel in interesting shaila of Gzeras and how you can get rid of Gzeras. There's a halacha that a woman who nurses can't get married for how long? 2 years. She can't get married for 2 years. So Rav Shlomo Kluger says that Bizman Hazeh, in his days at least, women don't nurse anymore for 2 years. They nurse more like 18 months. So Mele gave a heter to women to get married if their husband, Rahman al-Islam, died while they're nursing, 18 months after they start nursing. Why? Because he says that it's not getting rid of the gzeira. That's called fitting the gzeira into what the facts are in our generation. Rav Moshe Feinstein says no, there's no such thing, fitting in facts. The gzeira was 24 is 24. However, says Rav Moshe Feinstein, and that he says, but he happens to be right. You only have to wait 18. Why? Because the Gemara never says you have to wait 24. The Gemara says you have to wait as long as she's nursing. It says minekes. It happens to be that we say it's 24, but Bizman Hazeh, it's 18, so you could do 18. Zog the Gemara. Just to explain a little bit about how Gzeras work. We're going to see soon also. Omerlei. So Shmuel says, yeah, you're making fun of Ludayim and you said to the Mizalzel. Eshlachlei, would you like me to tell him what you said? Say the Shtikal Lashon Hara? Ichsif. Rav became embarrassed. However, says Rav, Omer Rav, I understand. If they didn't realize this pasuk, I shouldn't say the pasuk. How could you get rid of Daniel's gzeira? V'ksiv, vayasen Daniel aliboy. It's Daniel put on his heart. Asher yizgol pas bag hamelach. Shouldn't be grossed out. Yizgol, or I think that's what it means. But pas with the bread. Ubeyayin mishtov. You see, it's already Daniel that wanted to get rid of the bread and the 2 wines. Beyayin mishtov, plural. The pasuk is talking about 2 different things. Over here, you see in the pasuk, there's wine. What's the second one? Oil. So it's Daniel that put the gzeir in. Rav Savar, Ali Voisam, L'chol Yisrael Hoira. Daniel, not only he put it on, he took it to heart, so to speak. He took it to heart. Ali Voisam, but L'chol Yisrael Hoira. And therefore, he told Klal Yisrael, don't eat with them bread, not even oil, wine. Ushmuel Savar Ali Boisam. No, that was a private thing that he himself was machmer. He didn't make a gzeira. Next. Ushmuel B'Shemen, Daniel Gozar. Daniel came up with this gzeira not to drink their oil, not to use their oil. Omer Bali, Omer Avim Nivso, Mishmei the Rav. I only found it once in Shas. Pitam Mishamnom Yenu B'Nisei. We have 4 things, we're going to discuss them at length. Not at length, but we explain each one. We know all 4 already. They're bread, pas, shemen, yayin, ubnei seyim. They're daughters. Kulon, daughters, we don't know what it means yet. Kulon mishmoina also davarhein. Famous Gemara in Masechet Shabbos that there was a lucky day for Beis Shammai, that they had more Talmidim than Beis Hillel, and they wouldn't allow the Beis Hillel to come into that Aliyas Hagag, the attic in Beis Chayron. And they right away came up, they said, okay, let's vote. And they voted for 18 different things. Here we have, where was it? They voted, and because they had more, so their vote went through, and they had 18 Gzeras. These Gzeras, for whatever reason, are super powerful. You can't get rid of them forever. Even Eliyahu Navi comes, no Gzeras. You can't get rid of it. These 4 things, they can't eat the bread, oil, wine, and their daughters, are from that night. Anybody remember other Gzeras that we had over there? The Sefer Torah is Matamo, that if you touch a cloth, it gives off Tumah. Okay, different things. Says Gemara, so Daniel Gozar v'lo kibel. So we're going to see soon this idea, but here it is starting out. What if Chacham said, listen, there's a big Gzera, from today on you can't do X, Y, Z, and nobody accepts it. They said, forget it, we're not doing it, it's too hard. So the Gzera doesn't take effect. And then that night, the Talmidim of Hill and Shammai came to the attic, and they made a Gzeira, and they were a Makabel. So it's not a contradiction. Daniel did it, and then in later generations, Hillel and Shammai's Talmidim, they made the Gzeira. But if so, in Maya Sadusa the Rav, why does Rav keep on saying Daniel? There's nothing to do with Daniel. Daniel tried very good. You don't get credit for trying. He many years ago he tried to make olive oil or oil osir. It didn't work. Talmidei Hillel. He should have said Talmidei Hillel. Why is he talking about Daniel? Elo, the pshat is Daniel goes of Be'ir. The Isser is chasnus, marrying the daughter. So that's only in a city. So even if it goes to a field where the daughter is not there, there's no reason to be geyser on a field. That kind of explains what you were asking, like plug. You see that there is a difference. Back then when they made the Gzeira, perhaps it wasn't even an effect in the field. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, ask the Gemara Davi's question. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, or like we're being goyers, Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, the grandchild of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. How does he have the right to say that their Gzeira is no good? He's not as great as them. But you have to be greater and even more. Avoid another problem. You could be mevatel any gzeira you want if you're greater and more. Besides the 18 things from the attic, can't. Certainly his bezin is greater. We don't listen to him. Says Taisus over here. Like 7 lines from the bottom of the Amud, it says, because they were moiser nefesh. When somebody's moiser nefesh, that explains why, if you give your life towards something, can't be mevatel it. Great. Omer Rabbi Sharsha. You have 5 lines from the bottom. Matam. What's the reasoning over here? When Klai Yisrael accepts a Gzeira, that's it. It becomes solid. Shemen, but the problem is oil, like Pasha D'Isur B'Rav Yisrael. The oil, people didn't accept it. People didn't accept it. You're not allowed to make a gzeira on the entire community. Unless the whole Klai Yisrael or roiv 51% could withstand it. What's a good example? B'zman hazeh on a gzeira maybe. Thursday night shalom. What about smartphones? I don't want to get into it. I'm not making a header. It's a bad thing. But how do you do it? From this whole tzibah, there's one guy here that doesn't have a phone b'klal, him.
They would have answered it when it started. In the beginning, then you could have done it. But once you let people in it, you don't answer it.
They kind of started, but I'm saying, if it's something, I don't want to get into it, but could you ask her a phone? Could you ask her a car? Certain things that society goes with. We have to see how to make it in a way that you could live and still have a bank account and still have this and then that. And I'm just saying. Anyway, throwing it out there. Bemis, I'm not going into it because it's a very, very hard sugya. It's a hard sugya. I'm just saying, throwing out a musag. Tzibur yochel amim. There's a moira de gemaisa that happened. A moira de gemaisa. Ein goizim zera al tzibur kein reva tzibur yochel lamid bo. A story in Kol Chazanish where they were learning a sugya, and they did the whole sugya back and forth, and they came out they have to be mekel. So they learned the sugya nochamal very, very teef. They came out they have to be mekel, and the guy said it's impossible. This is a gzera she. There's a kula she'ein atzibu yichodim lamid bo. If you know, you know. He understood. Huh? Smoking yeshivas is a gzera she'ein atzibu yichodim lamid bo?
If they were able to, the Mir Yeshiva used to smoke in the yeshiva. No one smokes in the Beis Medrash anymore.
I remember that. When I was there, people used to still smoke. 1 minute, here in Eretz Yisrael, you'll see at every chasana people smoking in the middle of the hall.
In the Beis Medrash,
yeah. In the Beis Medrash, I saw that.
So you could be oikes things, and you could be oikes smartphones.
That I'm not sure about. Okay, anyway. We have to come up with a solution, not a thing. What's the pshat? Why do you need roiv atzibur daf lam vavam the Beis on top? B'me'ero atem neyorim. Voisi atem koivim. This is talking about that Klal Yisrael accepted upon themselves a gzeira. Says Hashem b'me'ero. B'me'ero is a curse. With the curse, you're going to be cursed. Voisi atem koivim. You're stealing from me. You promised me that you're going to accept this this gzeira, and you didn't. Hagoy kuloi, the entire nation. Oh, so since it says a goy kuloi, you get goy kuloi in. You need the entire nation to accept the gzeira, and it's not enough for some of them. If it's only part of the nation accepting gzeira, that gzeira is not chal. So oil is something that at the time people said we can't deal with this. It's not a gzeira that we could withstand. And they had to abolish the gzeira. Turning of the daf. Adar Global, experts in international financial services, anonymous as chusla for atzloch and ruchnis and gashmis, and with gratitude for the safe and healthy birth of our baby boy, Givat HaShalvat, Torah True Community in Givat Ze'ev. What was this? What are we showing here?
Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Martin.
What's your story? Where are you from?
I'm from Westmead, and I have kite bells, and I come once a week to the long way. Takes 3 hours of trip, and there and back. Altogether it's 9 hours. 3 hours there, 3 hours back, and 2 hours there, another hour in Schlein with the last bus. And I arrived there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
And you do this every week?
That's long
How many times did you do this already?
It's 10 times.
10 times?
So in the morning,
How do you know it's 10 times? You count? You keep measuring?
I started in the Shvius, started in the Shvius,
Yeah.
started Shvius,
So you got to get a screen and the dozen shiva over here. The whole life of the wants to share. Beautiful. The sky for the physics. Unbelievable.
So every day in the morning, listen to it.
Who else is a guest here? There's a few guests. There's a few unfamiliar faces. Who's at the end of the table? I saw somebody. You're hiding, you know. Shalom, what's your name? You're not a guest. Okay. Gufa. Omar Bali, Omar Avimi. You hear this? A guy drives 9 hours. 9 hours. And there's a guy that lives on this block that does this here every day for 3 years already. Hasn't been in East Marish once. I mean, it has 3 years ago. 9 hours he comes. Yeah. Omar Bali, Omar Avimi Nivsa Mishmei Rav. So we said before, yeah? We're just going to go into it a little bit. Peter Mishamnon Yenu V'Neisayim. How's it going so far? It's good? Yeah, good. Peter Mishamnon Yenu V'Neisayim. These 4 things, Kula, Mishmoina, Asur, Davarein. These are 4 exeris out of the 18 that they established that night. V'Neisayim Maya. What's going on with the daughters? Omar Nachman Yitzchok Gozra V'Neisayim Nidus Mari Soisan. So, a Goya, says Rashi, is like a behema, no nida, nothing. So, and if there was, then she would have to have a dam in order to be a nida. No, they made a gzeira. No dam, nothing. Just from the day she's born, nida. Why? Stay away from her. Goya. Ugniva Mishmei the Rav Omar. Gniva says, in the name of Rav, Kula Mishum Avodah Zarah Gazur Behem. This is not a problem with Yaines or whatever. This is Avodah Zarah. You get involved, you marry a Goya, then she'll get you to Avodah Zarah. The Chiyazar Ravacha Barado, mamish like what Bilam said last week's parasha. Get them involved in Znus and then Avodah Zarah. Ravacha Barado Amar Rabbi Yitzchok, Gozra al Pitam Mishum Shamnam. In order to strengthen the gzeira of oil, which wasn't going so well, so they said, don't even eat their bread. Says Gemara, Mayul Midashem and Pass. What's the difference? Bread is chasnus, oil is chasnus. How are you going to get people to keep oil if you add on another gzeira? Elo, al pitam sham mishum yeno. No, you didn't understand. The problem is wine. That's the real problem. And in order to make sure that people don't drink the wine with them, what's so bad about wine? It's obvious, but Rashi says it. Shahayayin boyer boyu miviyah l'dei b'nei seyim. When you drink wine, then a person chapsach hatayva. If you drink oil, it's nothing. Bread, what bread? Wine could cause the problem. So in order not to get, it's like they ask, it's like gzeira. No, it's all within the same chasnos thing. And what's the problem with wine? Marrying. So we know davar acher usually means chazer, P-I-G. Sometimes davar acher means a mitzayra. Sometimes over here it means avodah zarah. And here comes another thing that we don't really have. Well, once or twice we had. Val davar acher mishum davar acher. Mamish like hints shebe hints. How do you say it? Oh, mein dus gebar nadus. Like the thing. No, seriously, the thing is causing the thing. Davar acher is because of davar acher. As the Gemara, what are you talking about? But he's saying the Raisi. Don't marry them. Says the Gemara, the Raisi shiva goyim. Mid the Raisi, it's only these 7 nations: Knani, Chidi, Moiri, Prizi, Chivi, Vusi, Girgashi. Aval Sharu Misloi. Maybe Italian is okay. Vasiyinu v'Gazar. I feel the Sharu is come Chacham say no. Avodah Zarah. So I'll just show you this, just so we have a flow over here, because there's a lot going on. I mean, we're going to go through all the steps, every step by step. This is the maskan of the Gemara. So etch it in your brain. Midei Raisa, there's an Isser Ishus, marrying the 7 nations. Bezdin of Shem, Noach's son, Shem. So the Isser is a Jewish woman marrying a guy. Doesn't say anything about it doesn't say, what?
Everything.
Yeah, whatever. Shkoyach. But there's no Isser yet of a Jew marrying a Goya. Comes halacha l'mishmah Sinai later on and says Jew shouldn't marry a Goya. The Beis Chashmonai, the Bezdin of Chashmonaim said that there's an Isser even without getting married. Until then it was just marrying her. That's a problem, being in a steady relationship. But Stam Ader Chakroi Znos, not a problem. Says Beis Chashmonai, it's also. And Talmidei Beis Shammai, we said this is where we're finally going to get. We're going to narrow it down because the Gemara says, "What do you mean Bnei Seim? What exactly did the Beis Shammai do? Oh, look how many Yisurim there are already." They said the Isser is Bnei Seim, the Yichud. That's the problem. That finally, after everything, Yichud. So now we have to break it down, though. We have to see what happened. And the Gemara is just going to get to these. The Gemara is going to force all these ideas before we get to the end.
Why is the original Isser only with Shiva Amin?
Oh, because this is before in the Torah.
Yeah, right, so why not all going?
Why not all goyim?
The Chashash was about the Zarah.
No. That's your chashash. But the Torah says, "Let's just chat and bum on the Shivas Omim." Here, look.
I think in the Shiva Amin you can't convert.
Ava sharumis loy vosinu v'gozer afilu the sharumis. Well, Rishim ben Yochai do Amar ki Yosef bin Chamacharai. He says, look, maybe you want to say like Rishim ben Yochai. Rishim ben Yochai says all nations ki Yosef bin Chamacharai. The problem is Yosef bin Chamacharai. The rabbis call them asirois. Don't be medayik in the pasuk that the Isser was only by Shiva Zaman. No, what's the point behind it? The Torah says Kiyosas bin Chamacharai, that he's gonna, the guy is gonna take it out of the Zarah. Michael Meimar. Elo the Raisa issues der chasnos. The Torah only answered der chasnos. I think the Gemara brings the pasuk, but anyway, it says here. It says don't get married. It doesn't say anything about relations. Just don't get married. They come along and they say znus is also asur. Says Gemara znus. Now this is an old Zarah from time of Shem, from Noach. How come Yehuda said that Tamar has to die when they found out she's pregnant? Because the only person she could have a relationship with was a guy, and that was Aser. The only Jew around was Yehuda, and he didn't realize it was him. Ella the Raisa Goyabal Bas Yisrael. The Isser Midei Raisa is only a guy with a Jewish woman. The Moshe Basrei, because a woman will go after her husband, so she'll turn to Avodah Zarah. There wasn't a concern that the Jew with the Goya is going to turn to Avodah Zarah because he's the husband, he's the man. And they said, Gaza Afila Yisrael Ba Goya.
Midyan. All the men have one.
Yeah, right here. That was what Balak said. Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah, I hear.
It's the opposite.
Yisrael Abba Goyo Halacha L'Mishim Sinai. Says Gemara, wait a minute. The Yisrael on a Goy was already by Sinai, by Matan Torah. D'Amar Mar Haboyel Aramis. If somebody has relations with a Goy, Kanoim Poigim Boy, you go ahead and kill them. Bezin won't kill for that, but you could go ahead and kill. Rabbi Yoel Diskin says here, because the Gemara says, Doiraisa b'fer Hesya. When the Raisa was talking about if somebody does it in public, like last week's parasha, when Zimri did it in public, and Pinchas killed him. Over here, Rabbi Diskin says that what was Zimri thinking? Just like the end part. He says Zimri did it l'shem shamayim. Zimri was concerned because in those days, B'tzina was mutter, to be with a guy. And he was concerned that people are going to do Avodah Zarah, being B'tzina. So he went and he made himself an example. He said, oh, I'm with a guy, and then they killed him to show that how bad it is to be with a guy. And he says that's the pshat in Oisa Maisa Zimri u'mavakish schar kepinchas. What do you mean Oisa Maisa Zimri? Why would he ask for a schar? Because he did L'shem Shamayim. No, not. Okay. I got the rolling of the eyes. Okay.
Yes.
Well, he was a great man. He was the head. It was a little interesting.
She said some Shabbos, basically. That's what you say.
Yeah. Right.
That's what you said. According to this.
Says the Gemara, "B'tzinu nami bezdinoi shel chashmonoi gazru." Even v'asinu gazru b'tzinu. Did I say v'asinu gazru afil b'tzinu? They said from now on it's also even in private. Says the Gemara, "B'tzinu nami bezdinoi shel chashmonoi gazru." The chashmonoim already took care of that. The chiyasar avdimi omar bezdinoi shel chashmonoi gazru Yisrael haba goy chay mishum nashgo. Oh, they said you chayiv for nashgo. What's nashgo? It's a Rosh Tevis nida shivcha goya ishesish. So each one, if a person is with a goya, he's chayiv for nida because he'll be mizalzel in nidos, and then when he comes back, he'll say, oh, I was with the goya, and they don't have nida, so he'll be with the Jew in nida. Shivcha, same thing. He'll have a relation later on with the Jew. Might as well give him now for his shivcha. Goya, he's with a goya. So what do you mean b'shum goya? No, he might marry the goya. If you can have a temporary relationship with a goya, so he'll have a permanent relationship. And a shesish also, a goya actually has the goyim have a shesish. If they have a spouse, they decide they're going to get married, so they have an isser of a shesish. So a person might be, oh, if he's with a guy, he's like, oh, listen, she was married, then he'll come back to the Jews and it'll be mizalz and shesish. So we punish him for all that. He also Rav and Omar mishum nashgaz. We have to take out the aleph at the end and put in a zayin instead, and that is zayna for a kohen. What does that mean? It's not really. So there's a Rashi here that explains it. So he says he just brings the four things in the beginning. Neither shivcha v'ziklam zayna, and he explains shim kohen hu yesh kam shum lav de zayna. There's a lav of znus. The lav mamish. It's not a real lav. Elugzeir mishum zayna Yisrael sheniv elasala. This kohen won't protect himself from women that are usher to him. So says the Gemara. Oh, so we see this already usher. He goes with bezdinu shel chashmonoi bia. Oh, they were talking about relations. Just to be in the same room. I heard there's a lot of different, when it comes to Hilchas Yichud, it comes like, first of all, it's negiyah to us. I find myself in a position where we have a cleaning lady. Let's say my wife now is in America already. So you have to be careful. There's problems of yichud. Probably yichud in the elevator. Shilas, stam. I'm not saying the problem. I'm just throwing out. Somebody told me that the Gedolim were very busy with X-rays, with the X-ray technician, and the door's locked, the whole thing. Okay, each one in their own thing. Say, it's a thing. And they came and they said there's a Isser Yichud. Asked the Gemara, wait a minute. Yichud, nami bezdin shel David gazru. Isn't that already from David HaMelech? When the whole story with Tamar and her half-brother, Amnon, and he pretended he was sick, whole thing. So David HaMelech said, you know what, from now on, Yichud is Asr. Amri, Hasam Yichud the Bas Yisrael. Ava Yichud the Goya loy. There was no Isra yet for Yichud with the Goya. Vasinu Gozru Afil Yichud the Goya. Vishamai, the Talmid of Vishamai Misil came and made an Isra Yichud on Goy. Says Gemara, Yichud the Bas Yisrael the Raisi. Isn't that a problem already in the Raisa? Not from David HaMelech. Domer Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Mishum being Tzadok. Remez liyichud min haTorah minayin. How do you see the concept? Just a hint of it in the Torah. Shenemar Yisischa Achicha ben Imecha. Your brother from your mother's side will steer you towards Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara has the famous Gemara of Chi ben ein meses ben aveni meses. Why did the Torah talk about your half brother from your mother? And what about your half brother from your father? Hello. Where it says no. Ben misyachne mimo. It's coming to tell us that you have a better relationship with your brothers from your mother's side. Why? Because you can always visit them, and there's never an issue with yichud because it's your mother. You're allowed to be misiachad with your mother. But on your father's side, you have a problem. You have your stepmom. She's always home. And then you have issues, so you don't visit as much. So you hang out more with your brothers from your mother. And therefore, the Torah uses that as an example. Akopanim, you see that there's Isser Yichud. With your mother, there's no Isser Yichud. With others, yes. Here's an interesting shayla. Stop thinking about it for a second. Is there an Isser, I know of a story, Maisa Shahaya, of a guy who got divorced, then his sister got divorced, and decided to save on rent. They rented an apartment together. Is that a problem, halachically?
30 days is a problem.
Oh? Yes. Think about it. Is there a Isser Yichud with your own sister? Everybody's shaking yes. What? So if your sister comes to visit you, if your sister comes to visit you, you have to make sure the door is open?
No.
Oh, so what?
Living together.
I heard what you said. What does everybody else say?
That's a
Oh. So the halacha is, in case you don't know, the halacha is that if people are choshid you, they don't realize it's your sister. Like the yeshiva guys, yeah, it's my sister. Which reminds me, I got to tell you the story again. I just saw the guy, Henach Kamalar. I didn't see him in 20 something years. He came to the hotel. I was shocked. White hair. He has 10 grandchildren. Last time I saw him, he just got married. Came in with his wife. I was like, wow. So I said, Henach, do you remember the story? He said, no. Anyway, we were in Walmart in the mountains. It's now in the mountains. We're in Walmart, the famous Walmart. I don't think I ever said the story. I don't know if I should. Whatever. I'm saying.
If you think you shouldn't, you shouldn't.
Okay, I won't say it, but I'll say it nicely. Anyway, no, it's Nagel Halacha. You're gonna like this Maisa. Crazy. In Walmart, we notice a Bisyakov girl. She looked like a Bisyakov girl. Well, I was dressed, sneezed the whole thing, holding hands with a guy. I was walking around with a guy. So like, Henach, what do we do? She, what do we do? What do you do? I said, no, I have to make a macha. I gotta step in. I gotta save this person. Maybe something's happening over here. So I came up with a plan. I figured, if she's a guy, so I'm gonna say a word that only a Jew knows, and she's gonna think that I'm whatever. So I go over and I said, excuse me, are you from? So I figured, if she's a guy, she's gonna think I'm asking her if her name is from. And if she's a Jew, she'll answer. She says yes. Like, so what's going on here? She says, it's my father. Like, oh, like, and I try to bear it, and then I can't lie. The way she said it, then I realized, yeah, that's her father. Okay, so he wasn't wearing a yarmulke, the whole thing. He looked like, okay, he's a goy gomer. Wasn't a goy. So I go like this. If people are going to be choshid you, like I was choshid this person, then you can't do it. You can't be miyachad with your sister. But if not, you're allowed to be miyachad only temporarily. Please don't make a short out of this, okay? Okay, he's already thinking, oh, what a great short. Yeah. But if it's derech keva, so what's aray? 3 days up to 30 days. More than that, even if you save on your rent and she makes good food, it's not kedai to move in. Zog the Gemara. Yichud deraisa deishasish. The Isser of Yichud Midaraisa is a married woman. Because of the whole story of Amnon and Tamar, he means Geyser Yichud on a single woman. Finally, we get to the end of the sugya. And they said that the Isser is even Yichud of a guy, and that's what it means. B'nai Seyem, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.